Zohran Mamdani. That's former DSA member Jerry Nadler. Dog, I'm sorry, but if you were alive when Eugene Debs was alive and you haven't been a member for almost 100 years, that is not as significant as like Brad Lander being a former DSA member until like 2023. Okay? Let's go. Oh, yeah, I do want to talk about...
Say that my colleagues in the New York congressional delegation and I, we do not care about the Democratic Socialists of America. We're focused on defeating congressional Republicans in the midterms and making Hakeem Jeffries the Speaker of the House and reversing the catastrophic consequences of the Republican reconciliation bill. We could care less about Mickey Mouse primary challenges.
Ooh, Mickey Mouse primary challenges, huh? He's doing it. He's doing it. He's gonna fix his chances.
Which did not appear in one day. It's clearly an accumulation that's been here for several days. Like, where's sanitation? Like, where's the NYPD? I don't see anyone here. I have not seen a single police officer. I've not seen a single sanitation worker. I have not seen a single public health worker.
Is he in the Bronx? Because let me tell you, there are a lot of cops, okay? Let me tell you, first of all, I don't know why you would say, like, where is the NYPD here? If anything, too much NYPD presence in the Bronx, okay?
It's as if the city is absentee in what is one of the most heavily trafficked commercial corridors in the city, which did not appear.
It is kind of wild where he's like, bro, this district that I never attend and care very little about because it's not Tel Aviv, the only district I care about, seemingly is in a state of disrepair. Where are the politicians? Why won't they do anything about this? Where are the politicians, I say? Richie Torres, the congressional representative of the district that I'm inside of, that I am filming, alongside Walter White, it seems. How did he win? How did he actually win this district? He was very progressive. He ran as a very progressive guy. A lot of people forget. He was like, listen, I'm young, I'm black, I'm Afro-Latino, I'm bi, like, or I think gay, I don't know. Like, but he was like, I'm queer, young, black, I'm very progressive. Like, he literally ran as like a major progressive figure initially, and then quickly cast that aside. It can feel like activism is futile, but the activists are slowly, steadily moving the needle. If it were not for their efforts to publicize what is being done to Gaza, the public would just never know. First opinion shifts, then politics shifts. Eventually, policy will shift. And Nathan J. Robinson, the most vindicated man in American politics, is right on this as well. I realize that can't bring back any lies, but what is being done to Gaza depends on U.S. support. If the U.S. wanted to stop it, it could do it tomorrow. So the U.S. activists are changing U.S. opinion. To pressure U.S. politicians to change U.S. policy is the urgent task. Throw any U.S. politician out of office unless they commit to withdrawing all funding from Israel immediately, plus sanctioning Israel until it ends the occupation, pays reparations, and joins most of the rest of the world in recognizing the state of Palestine. He is correct on this. He is a classic progressive except for Palestine. That's why every politician must have a position on this. Oh, for sure. I did see this, and I don't know what this means, and I am a little worried about it, but it is what it is, you know? Mamdani has hired Jeffrey Lerner, a former political director of the DNC, to serve as his new communications director. Mr. Lerner also once worked for Mr. Mamdani's primary rival, Andrew Cuomo. Definitely an interesting move. Yeah, don't know what that means, don't know why. I mean, he worked for Cuomo in 2007. He hates him since. No, I don't care about him working for Cuomo in 2007. I do care about him being a DNC and senior Senate aide. Former political director of the Democratic National Committee is I think, more important. But I think I think this is good by Zohran because he's trying to get better placement in traditional media. H-Bizzle, you and I have been at odds with the Kamala stuff. If you recall, I feel like my instincts of hoping that people do not shy away from being earnest, which allowed Zohran to win and cut through the noise in this crowded primary field with a lot of wonderful progressive, politicians was correct, as you also recall, just as my criticisms of Kamala Harris were also correct. I don't know. I mean, I'm not. We'll see how it plays itself out. But Andrew Epstein is the guy, right, who has been overseeing both news and social media for the campaign. Like, Andrew Epstein, from what I understand, is like the creative vision, the creative force behind all of this initially, and his team and their his team of like genuine supporters played a formative role and allowed him to actually win the primary. And I do hope that he doesn't shift away from that earnesty with the hopes of, like, I don't know, winning a bunch of supposed like Democratic establishment voters or something. I think he's smart enough to have the aid, but not be subservient to it, a la Kamala, I hope. Yeah, I don't. No. I'm not worried about him becoming like fake or whatever. Okay, I'm not worried about that. I'm not worried about that at all. I'm worried of how he presents himself going forward, because like there is a level of liberal language that he applies, that he deploys, that's perfect right now. And any kind of steering in the direction of even more calculated language will most likely dilute his message and will play away from the earnesty, the earnesty that has actually performed spectacularly for him so far. Do you understand? Harvey Epstein is a good dude? No, that's not Harvey Epstein. We're talking about Andrew Epstein, who was the previous like social media and news mind behind the operation. I will say, shouts out to Nadler, by the way. Shouts out to Nadler. He has surprised me. Maybe I was too critical on establishment Democrats, because a lot of the where is it? A lot of the Zionist Twitter accounts are currently losing their minds over what Nadler did. Jerry Nadler is being considered as Hamas now. I regret every vote I ever cast for Representative Jerry Nadler. I hope to see a viable primary challenger who stands up for Jewish safety instead of telling us that the piss on our legs from the far left is actually rain. Why is he saying this? This liberal Zionist account, Jewish Wonk, because Nadler aides have been working with Mamdani's team to build up a new mayoral nominee's outreach into areas of Manhattan where he did not do well among Jewish communities suspicious of the assemblyman's views on Israel. That's right. Nadler not only was one of the first like prominent Democratic Party establishment figures that actually endorsed Zohran Mamdani. That's former DSA member Jerry Nadler. Dog, I'm sorry, but if you were alive when Eugene Debs was alive, and you haven't been a member for almost 100 years, that is not as significant as like Brad Lander being a former DSA member until like 2023. Okay? Jerry Nadler trying to move the left to avoid the establishment primary purge that is coming, inshallah. I don't know. I don't know what his like motivation is. I also think he's super old, so it might not be all that consequential for him. I have the funniest anecdote around this election. One of my coworkers in our office in another department founded the DSA chapter at University of Chicago with Brad Lander back in the late 80s. Yeah, Brad Lander has been a DSA guy for a very long time and was a dues-paying member of the DSA, card-carrying, dues-paying member of the DSA until 2023. And that has not stopped him from obviously endorsing and literally becoming a human shield, a Jewish human shield against the Islamophobic, cynical anti-Semitism smears against Zohran Mamdani, which played a formative role in like the way that I think a lot of voters viewed Zohran Mamdani in a positive way, in spite of the unimaginable amount of horrible anti-Zohran coverage. Why he left is more relevant than any participation he had in the past? No. What he's doing now, currently, is more relevant than his reasons for leaving the DSA, in my opinion. Also, we don't know the exact details. Forward Magazine suspects it's because of October 7, and there could be truth to that. The DSA position on October 7 and the DSA position on Palestine after October 7. Okay? Was he actually alive when Eugene Debs was alive? I don't know. I was exaggerating.